All right, let's just jump right in. For the longest time, we've all looked at employee training as, well, a cost, right? It's a box you have to check. But what if we could totally flip that script? What if training could go from being just another line item on a budget to a direct, measurable driver of business growth? Well, today, we're going to look at exactly how AI is making that a reality. But first, let's be honest and start with a question I bet you've asked yourself a million times. Why does it feel like so much of the time and money we pour into employee training just disappears into thin air? You know the drill. Employees sit through some generic module, and a week later, poof, it's like it never even happened. It's a massive, frustrating problem for pretty much any leader. So the huge difference here is this contrast between the old way and the new. We are moving away from that passive, generic, and totally unmeasured training, the one-size-fits-all videos, and we're jumping into a world where development is active, it's super personalized, and it's all driven by real-time data. And this isn't just a small upgrade, it's a complete reinvention of how we build skills. To really understand why this shift is so critical, let's first dig into the old way of doing things and the very real, very expensive problems it creates for a business. Now, what's fascinating is how these costs just snowball. It all starts with lost sales, maybe because your team doesn't really know how to upsell. Well, that leads directly to frustrated customers because they're getting inconsistent service, and that frustration, that fuels high employee turnover because, let's face it, nobody likes feeling like they're not good at their job. But the worst part of all? It's always been almost impossible to draw a straight line from what you spent on training to the actual results for the business. Okay, so how in the world do we fix this? Well, this is where the solution comes in, the AI mentor. We're going to call it the adaptive performance coach. This is where that fundamental reinvention we just talked about really starts to take shape. And this just nails the core idea. Just imagine for a second, every single one of your employees, whether they're on a sales floor or in a call center, having a personal AI-powered mentor right there in their pocket. A coach that actually knows their specific weaknesses and works 24/7 to turn them into strengths, and in turn, directly impacting your bottom line. Okay, that sounds amazing in theory, right? But how does it actually work? Let's pop the hood and take a look inside this AI engine to really understand the tech that's making all this personalized growth possible. This quote gets right to the heart of it. See, traditional training uses these boring multiple-choice quizzes to see if you remember something. This new way, it does something totally different. It creates a space for real practice, a place where it's safe to fail, where your employees can have dynamic, incredibly realistic conversations. So, let's break this down. First, the AI generates a totally realistic scenario. Let's say it's an unhappy customer. Then, as the employee starts talking, the AI customer actually adapts. It might get angrier, or maybe it'll calm down, all based on the employee's choice of words. And this is the crucial part. It gives instant feedback on their tone and their strategy. It is literally like having a top-notch manager available for role play anytime, anywhere. But practice is only half the story. The real genius here is connecting that training to actual performance. So in this example, the system is watching an employee's sales data. For 2 weeks, things are looking great. But then, bam, in week 3, the system flags a dip. It spots a problem the moment it happens. And here's where the magic is. The system doesn't just shoot an alert to a manager who's already swamped. No, the AI coach autonomously takes action. It figures out the likely reason for that sales dip and pushes a super targeted 5-minute training module right to the employee's phone to fix that one specific weakness. And this is the payoff. After that proactive, personalized little bit of training, we see performance start to bounce back in week 4. This closes the loop. For the first time, you can actually see a direct, measurable line between a specific training activity and a positive business result. And it's not just the coaching. There are other really powerful features packed in here. You've got a knowledge agent, which gives your team instant answers on tricky products or company policies. All the content is transcribed, which means it's not just translated. It's made culturally and contextually spot on for teams all over the world. It also automates complicated compliance training, tailoring it by role and country. And because it's designed to be offline first, the learning never has to stop, even when the Wi-Fi does. So we've seen how it all works. Now, let's get to the question every business leader really wants the answer to. What are the results? We're going to look at 5 key payoffs that really make the case for turning training from an expense into a genuine asset. And here they are, plain and simple. You get more revenue from a team that's more skilled. Your customer satisfaction scores, your CSAT, they go up because your people are more confident and capable. Compliance risk goes down because of the automated, trackable training. Employee retention gets better because people feel like you're actually investing in them. And, the big one, you finally get a clear, data-driven return on that investment. And that last point, that's the holy grail. For the first time ever, the ROI of your training isn't just some vague feeling or an educated guess. It becomes a hard, quantifiable number you can actually track on a dashboard, just like you track your sales or your marketing KPIs. You can finally prove the value of investing in your people. All right, so let's zoom out and look at the big picture. What does this huge strategic shift from just training people to actively managing their performance really mean for you as a leader? At the end of the day, it all boils down to this one simple but incredibly powerful idea. You are empowering your entire team to perform at the same level as your absolute best people, day in and day out. And at the exact same time, you're giving their managers the cold, hard data they need to prove that their teams and the investment in them are pushing the business forward. So, I'll just leave you with this final thought. We've talked a lot about the costs of the old, ineffective way of training, but now that technology like this actually exists, the much more important question we have to ask ourselves is this. What is the true cost of not unlocking the incredible potential that's already sitting right there inside your team?